So I am a French medical doctor. I was trained in Paris almost 50 years ago now, and I have been practicing endobiogeny in a cancer hospital in Paris, Boucicaut, for 7 years. So the notion of endobiogeny is a complex notion. It is a new approach of the human being regarding the fact that in our body everything is linked together. We cannot dissociate each part from other parts, and it's a true integrative system. It's a true integrative approach of the way in which the human body is functioning. So it's a way which can be applied not only in cancer patients, but as I have been very implicated in this field, particularly for 7 years, and treating many and many patients since more than 30 years now, I want to try to tell you understand what is endobiogeny applied to cancer disease. When we consider a patient, when we are facing a patient who is presenting or she is presenting, for example, a breast cancer, the classical way is to focus exclusively on the bad cancer cells which are located at breast level. It's good because we need to know which kind of tumor it is, the kind of cells, to which chemical products these cells are sensitive. But if we use only an analytical approach in order to try to cure the patient using chemical products adapted to treat and to make disappear these bad cells, you know that a lot of patients are escaping to the cancer classical treatment, and they are also presenting a lot of side effects. So if we try to understand how we can relate the management of, for example, a breast cancer facing an endobiogenic approach, we can try to go more in depth in this understanding. Yeah? When we look at the breast, we need first to understand that the breast is a part of the female system, genital system. And this system is under control of gonadotrope axis, that is to say FSH, LH, estrogen, androgens, and so on, all the hormones which are directly linked to this system. But if we try to understand the relationship that such system establish with other systems, because the human body is working as a network, you cannot dissociate this genital system from the other hormonal system. Why? Because in the endobiogenic approach, we consider that the management of the body considered as a whole is under control of a specific manager which takes care at every level, at molecular level, cell level, tissue level, functional level, and global organic level, a system which is able to manage and to drive the functioning of the human body at metabolic level. That is the basis of the endobiogenic approach. It is an approach in which we consider that the true manager of the life which takes place in our body is managed by the endocrine system. It is why the endobiogenic approach in cancer disease is a particular approach which tries to understand how we can relate not only the female hormonal system reported to the breast cell cancer, but to try to understand how this system is linked with corticotrope axis, that is to say the axis which is in relationship with adaptation, with the thyrotrope axis, which is the one which allows the body to manage the energy inside itself, and the somatotrope axis with the growth factors. So you see, an attempt to open the understanding on how we can relate the breast to the whole body. And clinically, we have clinical signs which can allow us, through a particular in-depth clinical exam, to distinguish small signs which give you ideas on how the whole system are working all together. So it's a true integrative approach, which is based upon the classical modern data based upon the endocrinological management of the body. So we have clinical signs which allow us to better understand. We have also developed a biological tool which we call biology of function. This tool is a very complex tool based upon algorithm obtained from classical biological data, for example, blood count, for example, CPK, LDH. And through this algorithm, we can guess and understand how the four axes which manage the body, how these four axes are acting at cell level in order to allow us to better understand for which reason the patient, the woman who we have in front of us, is presenting a very quick evolutive cancer in several cases, and in other cases we can have very long-term duration cancer patient. And when looking carefully at this data, it's a complex tool. It allows us to establish how the body is working in depth. Because you know, very often you are following cancer patients who are stabilized since 2 years, 3 years, and seeming to be very healthy. The classical data show nothing. And 2 weeks after, they came back at your office with a generalized exploded cancer. So for which reason? Classical modern medicine is unable to give you the clues which will allow you to understand for which reason this patient is presenting one explosion. But if you look at the management of the body through these four axes, you can understand, for example, that this patient 2 weeks before has been suddenly submitted to a strong emotional stress. What are the effects of the stress upon the body? It makes appear an increase of alpha sympathetic system, an increase of hypothalamic CRH activity, which can play a role upon the thyrotrope axis in order to increase the management of thyroid activity. And these two axes linked together are targeting, summarizing their effect upon the cell and increase the metabolism of the bad cells under the pressure. If in the same time the patient in his basic structure is presenting, for example, a bad management of the somatotrope axis, that is to say the axis linked with growth factors, prolactin, GH hormone, and particularly insulin, all the relationship between the bad management of these various systems can make appear a very strong pressure at immune level, which can explain for which reason the patient you have removing 4 months before a small apparent breast cancer in the external superior quadrant will be cured definitively, and another one with the same apparent disease will make appear suddenly 6 months after the removal of the tumor with the same protocol will make appear an explosion of the cancer. So you see, it is an attempt to go more in depth in the understanding of what takes place inside the body in the global management. You cannot dissociate one sign from another, one organ from the management of the thyrotrope axis, corticotrope, somatotrope, and so on. So it's a very an attempt and we are in the core of the modern medicine. We are not outside of the medicine. I have a great respect for old tradition or Chinese medicine because it's also a tool, a global tool. But as we are in the modern Occidental medicine, we need to use the scientific tool we have at our disposal. So it is why, for those who want to improve their patient, they need to go more in depth in the physiological understanding. So what can we obtain with? So you see, it's a complex imbalance, which is the reason which can explain for which reason such disease appear. So you have to identify in every different case the true basis for each person. You can have apparently the same breast cancer, and even though the evolution will be very different, you have to manage the disease in another way. You have to replace the individual in the global context of his life or her life. You cannot dissociate. It's a true integrative system. So when you are looking at the therapeutic elements we have at our disposal, we can use in a such global approach tools which are able to try to destroy the cells, but in our understanding it's not enough efficient because staying only in this approach, we focus only on the microscopical level, targeting to kill the specific cell, bad cells. But as you understand that everything is linked together, you need to have a more global overview, identifying the specific imbalances that every person is presenting, and then after you have to find a therapeutic strategy before choosing a treatment. What will you do when you are facing a cancer patient? Remove quickly the tumor? First chemotherapy? There are various protocols depending the age, depending the aspect, and so on. But that is important to do that. But you know that very often there are recurrences, there are metastases, patients are feel bad most of the time when they are under chemotherapy. So what can we do with this endobiogenic approach? After having established the basis, the hormonal, global understanding, also the related with the organ which manage the metabolism, you establish a basis. And you have to say, my patient is established in such kind of imbalance. Where do I have to act in order to modify the imbalance and to rebalance the person? And that is, it's a complex, because it's a complex disease. So what we do, we use the tools, the biological tools, in conjunction with the clinical approach, in conjunction with the interrogatory. That is to say, first we establish the whole time life story of the patient, because the present day is a consequence of what occurred in the past. So you cannot dissociate the present moment from the past, because sometimes there are very important clues in the past which can explain the particular aspect of the disease. So when we think that we have to choose therapeutic treatments, we can use chemotherapy, we can use radiation therapy, we can use surgery, but it's not efficient. It's not enough. That can be useful, but you need what? You need to rebalance the body. And which tools are at our disposal? A lot of tools in reality, and the main tool which can be useful in such cases are medicinal plants. Because when you use them correctly, when you know them exactly, their properties, their specific properties, that is to say, how they act upon the human body, how they can interfere with the management of the hormonal system and also of the organs. If you had a good strategy, you can choose a set of several plants which are acting together in order to modify the basic unbalanced structure. And the results you can obtain are so fantastic that you are very often surprised at how cancer, metastatized generalized cancer, can survive for years without any chemicals in several cases. But if you are in necessity to use chemical, you will help your patient to present less side effects, to be more energetic, probably and surely, depending on my practice, to delay the recurrence of disease. That is, it's complex, but we can help a lot this kind of patients, a lot. So you have not only to focus on medicinal plant. Essential oils are playing a great role because they are very specific products, which are the fragrance of several kinds of plants, which are able by their particular global constitution to have a very in-depth action upon the hormonal system and upon the organs. For example, you can decrease in a very efficient way the alpha sympathetic system by using lavender essential oil, neroli essential oil. But you have also to know that some plants, some essential oil, can have a negative effect in some cancer patients. Because if the breast cancer the person is having in front of you has an excess of estrogenic activity which is participating to the bad management of her cancer, if you use essential oil Salvia officinalis, sage, and if you know that sage is able to induce the increase of production of estrogen by the ovary, you will make appear a risk of greater expansion of the cancer. So you have to know the material you are using. That is important. In order to be a good practitioner, you need to take time with your patient in order to have a full understanding of who she is. Then you need to have a very in-depth clinical exam because you will obtain a lot of information. Then at the end of these two steps, you can have a better idea on the way they manage their body in depth. Third step is a biological tool which gives you a lot of new information, and all that together will allow you to correctly drive your cancer patient in order to help him or to help her to manage her breast cancer if it is a breast cancer. So you have also to take care of the food, of the way of life, of the cycle, day-night, alternative day-night. It's a very complex. That is the base of endobiogeny, the notion of the interrelationship of organs and function all together. So it's an attempt to an in-depth understanding of cancer. But you can apply that not only in cancer patients, in autoimmune disease. It's a way of understanding. It's not a trick. You change your mind. That is to say, this approach allows you to correctly use all what you learned during your medical studies. Because look at the indies, my colleagues in France. I have good colleagues, friends, and they obtain good results in classical ways. Sometimes there are severe escape, but how do they proceed when they are looking at a cancer patient? They look at the breast, you have a small the classical protocol say we have to remove, and it's all. But how do they read the thyroid, the emotional activity, the relation between the liver and the global metabolism? And they know. In the morning, they teach to their students that everything is linked, and they have to take care of everything. And in the afternoon, they forget all the knowledge, and their main target is, main objective, identify the cell, find the products against the cell, but the body which makes appear the cancer, because the person is not, we are responsible, but we are not guilty. We are not guilty of what arrives in our body, but we are responsible. The notion of responsibility, it is why you need to inform your patient that he or she has a very great role to play in the management of her own disease. It's not the question. It's not only the disease treated by the MD or by the DO. It's a question that to be aware that they have to change their way of life and to use a good strategy. So Androgyny, it's not a question of excluding classical medicine, excluding hormonal therapy, but it's a question to have a good understanding and then to choose through the whole set of medicine the one which will be at the present moment you see the patient, which will be the best adapted to a state. So, these are my ideas.
Complete?
Yes.
It's enough? No?